I swear to God, if I hear you shaking the whole time.
Okay, ready. Starting now.
No. That's the dumbest thing.
That was good.
That was dumb.
I liked it.
I hear you every time you move. The swishing is going to drive me nuts. This isn't working well.
This is like our second episode.
I fired you already. Welcome to another episode of Spillin Chai Tea podcast with Britt and...
Me.
No, try it again. This
Joel.
drives me crazy every time.
Okay.
Another episode with Britt and...
Joel.
Oh, look how easy that is. Why can't you just do the easy things?
I feel like
Did you
that's
just
a
look
question.
at your watch? We just started. We still have time.
No, that's a question for our therapist at some point in time. That's a
Okay.
good question.
So just to let you guys know, you know that it's a little chaotic over here. It's a little crazy. It's a little wild. Joel and I have already been into like 5 fights today. One's the slurping on his drink, and one's the shicky coat. Why are you laughing? It's annoying.
Sounds
I
like
even
a
said,
problem.
if you wear that coat, I will not record with you.
You're recording right now.
I swear, if I hear shaking the whole... You just need to freeze the whole episode. It's going to drive me nuts.
Freeze.
I like this. Actually, just freeze the whole time. Freeze all day. Anyways, guys, we're here. Oh, I'm a little different. We're entering into 2025 with a new Brittany.
I'm a little different.
I'm a little different.
Yeah.
I have brand new hair.
I like it. It's great.
Were you over the blonde? You want a blonde wife anymore?
No. It wasn't that I was over it. I just support you in your decision-making processes.
I did ask if I can go purple, and you're like, no, don't go purple.
Well, there's
A line?
there's a line.
Well, my line is you can't shave your beard. Does that flow?
No, because I'm shaving my beard tomorrow.
No, you're not. Are you seriously?
I'm thinking about it.
We can talk about this after the episode. Anyways, no, Joel and I feel like we're always doing crazy things. You don't do things too crazy with your hair, but I have probably been every color hair since we've been together.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you, Mr. Truck. Wow. I have been blonde. I've been red. I've had brown, black, probably some crazy color. I had pink at one point.
Well, that was before us, probably.
Nope.
You've never had pink hair with us.
I'm going to look. I'm pretty positive I had a little bit of pink in my hair for something.
No.
I'm going to do it. My mom goes crazy with her hair color. She'll do like purple and all sorts of crazy colors.
Yeah.
So anyways, I got really bored of the blonde over winter break. And I was like, what can I do? What would be fun? And I was like, completely look different and change my hair color. So everyone's like, oh my God, it looks so cute. How long have you been thinking about it? And I was like, no, it's actually a manic moment that I just decided I wanted something new.
Nice.
Why do you look so worried?
I don't know. I don't think it's like just something like your wife just like, I just had a manic moment. I'm like, oh, great. That's awesome.
I'm sure
That's my response.
Every person out there's had manic moments. It's all right.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty positive. Anyways, today I thought it would be fun to share a little bit about our night routine with everybody. Okay. This has probably been, you're getting all nervous. This has been our night routine since we've been married.
Okay.
Why do you look nervous?
No, just go ahead. I don't know what
Why are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous.
You want me to share too much?
You don't tell me what we're doing.
Ever.
We sit down and
Yes.
you just start going.
Yes.
And then I just have to like be here.
That's all I require of you.
All right, keep
Anyways.
going.
Our night routine every night is we put MJ to bed. Okay. Sometimes we put her to bed. Sometimes Lukey does. Because apparently like that's Luke's new favorite thing.
Yeah,
and
he
I
loves
found
doing
out
it.
why. It's because they read a special book together every
Oh,
night.
I love that.
And so it's really sweet. But anyways, put Emmy to bed. And then usually Lucas follows. And really after that, like our boys, I feel like we're all kind of the same. We're all kind of like introverted extroverts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best way to describe it. Like we all like to be extroverted and like hang out with people and have fun. But only if like our introverted tank is full.
Yeah.
So I think at night, what really happens is that we all kind of, you're swishing. At night, we all just kind of like want our alone time. So as soon as like Emmy and Lukey go to bed, Liam and Levi stay upstairs for the next couple hours till they go to sleep. And then we watch
Show.
there you go. That's our night routine.
That's true.
We really watch like a show. We typically find like a show that we can binge. We don't do movies too often. Like sometimes we will, But usually
And
it's a
even
show.
if it's a movie, it's usually like we're trying to work through a series. Like a series of movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Like when I forced him to watch The Rings or when I forced him to watch Twilight.
Yeah, it was
It was
horrible.
beautiful. It was a great moment. Anyways, so our new like show that we have been completely obsessed with is Yellowstone. So good.
Which I think I really could be a rancher.
Oh my God. You know what? I literally
No,
even
I'm just-
wrote
no, I'm
that
just- no, listen,
on my phone.
listen,
I wrote that on
listen.
things we're going to talk about today is how Joel cannot be a rancher.
No. Well, that's rude.
First of all, who owns the tools in this family?
Me.
You own like a tool. I own all
That
the
is
tools.
my tool bench in the garage.
That you never use. It's covered in spider webs because you don't use it.
That's not true.
I will show them pictures. I think literally inside the drawers are like pictures and like random tools that you've never once used. My brother technically bought that he used.
No, he never. What? No.
Yeah, some of those in there he had like used for different
No,
things or we bought so
no.
we could fix something.
No.
My toolbox is pink because my dad bought it for me because he knew already that I was the one that did most of the stuff around here.
Okay.
I fixed the garbage disposal. I put together, you're already realizing, I put
I'm
together
realizing
all the IKEA furniture and
Yeah.
all the furniture in this
Okay, everybody,
house.
let's have a round of applause for Britt. Oh, yay! We're so proud of you.
Thank you. So how the hell are you going to be a rancher if I'm Mrs. Fix-It in this house?
Oh, you're going to be Mrs. Rancher.
No, that would be I do everything. I don't want to ranch. I don't want to do all this.
This is sounding so good.
No, you
let's
just
get back
wanted
to
to put
Yellowstone.
on your resume that I am a rancher.
That's
This
not
is the
true.
same
I
fight that
love
we got
this
into
idea. I
when
love
you
this
said you wanted to
idea.
buy a truck. And I said you would not use it for anything. There's not one thing that you would be able to use a truck for. If anyone in this family should have a truck, it's me. That's why I have the SUV.
I'm glad.
Literally, you could not be a rancher. Anyways, we're going to circle back to how Joel cannot be a rancher in a little
Okay.
bit. Okay. But our favorite show is Yellowstone. And how long have we been watching it?
No, bro, when it came out.
Really?
Yes.
When did it come out?
I don't know, a long time ago.
Thanks for your information.
It's been frustrating to be a Yellowstone fan because
That's true.
It like started off so strong and then like season after season, like it was great. And then all of a sudden, you know, this whole fiasco with Kevin Costner and the producers.
We'll tell them because
and
maybe they don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, I don't fully know what happened. All I know is that all of a sudden there's like all these rumor mills going, like the rumor was going on that Kevin Costner got into it with the producer and he had his own projects that he was trying to do, but the producers were trying to like set recording time to try to keep going with the seasons. And then, you know, they start doing the spin-off seasons, which are awesome, but people were still very invested in like the regular Yellowstone show, like the flagship show. Exactly. And so essentially, from what I understand, Kevin Costner's like, I'm out. I'm outie. Like, I'm not doing it. And he went and produced his own show, which is basically Yellowstone. He did his own movie.
Yeah.
But the whole premise of the movie is Yellowstone.
Well,
he's like a rancher.
I know, that's Horizon.
It's like a Western.
I feel like he's been typecast at this point, too, as like this rancher dad.
Well, Yellowstone brought his career back. It like literally resurrected his career. When was the last time we were like talking about Kevin Costner? Waterworld?
I don't even know what Waterworld is, but wasn't he also the twin movie, the Parent Trap? Was that not him?
Kevin Costner?
I thought Kevin Costner was
Maybe,
that.
I
Maybe
don't
it's
know.
not. But he had Horizons, which is literally Yellowstone. But then I think he also did Homestead, right? Or was Horizon his? Homestead's not his.
No, Homestead's not his. Horizon was his.
I kept thinking Homestead was his. That's like this new
I don't even know what Homestead
post-apocalyptic.
is.
That's maybe completely different. Okay, strong. So anyways, let us give you like the quick snapshot on Yellowstone because it literally is probably one of my top shows. Not my favorite because I have a lot of other favorites up there, but one of my top favorite shows. Yeah, so really basically Yellowstone is about Kevin Costner. He's his dad. And he has pretty much, I guess, like his family bought this ranch with like a bajillion acres. I forget what it was.
Well, they don't like buy it. So like
in the beginning they did. No. Well, never mind. Let Joel explain Yellowstone to you all.
Well, we could have started that way. It would have been great.
Rude.
No,
Fine,
so
continue.
basically what happens
Explain
is you find out that the Dutton family basically came onto the land when they like, you know, it was like homesteading. It was during that time period. And the whole idea was like when you came to like the new world and you found a large, like any piece of land, you start like pegging stakes, tent stakes, putting stakes in the ground, something like that, and you like literally like claim the
land. Even though technically it was all the Native Americans.
And that's a big big kind of undercurrent of the whole thing, which in the spin-offs, like was it 1811? I think that's one of them.
I don't remember.
You kind of learn about that. But basically the Dutton family comes in and they like stake out a massive part of Yellowstone of that land, and that ends up, and in so doing, they obviously steal it
In doing so. That's
in so doing is the more academic technical way of saying that phrase.
Well,
in the
normal way, it's in doing so.
Well, let me do it my way. In so doing,
you sound stupid. You don't sound academic. You sound wrong.
I sound.
Continue.
In so doing. In so doing, they basically they steal land from Indians, from Native Americans there, you know?
Native Americans is the technical term?
Actually, I think there's Native Americans, there's I want to say first responders, not first responders, the first inhabitants, I think is
you should know it's Native Americans and Indians.
I know, Christopher Columbus is an absolute moron. He thought that he was in the Indies. He wasn't. He was in the Americas, and so he thought he was going to see Indians. Instead, he saw Native Americans or first inhabitants.
Y'all should really do your little history check.
Basically, Christopher Columbus
all of that.
screwed up a whole bunch of people all at the same time. Hijacked like actual Indians, misnamed a whole different people group. I mean, that's a whole different story.
Even they're teaching it in schools now because now our kids even understand that. Yeah. Anyways, go back to that. So they come in, they take this land that was the Native Americans' land, and they
develop it, they homestead it.
But it's literally like a ton of acres.
It's a massive. It's insane.
How many do they say? Like thousands and thousands and thousands of acres.
Yeah, we have to look that up.
Something crazy. And it's like they have all this land. And so basically Yellowstone is the story of him, his wife, who is not with us in the show. She had passed away, and they kind of explain how later in the show. And then his 1, 2, 3, 4 kids.
Yeah, the son.
Don't say all that just because we don't watch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're basically giving away the whole thing already.
No,
what do you mean?
The preface, dum-dum.
That was not a preface. You basically are telling the entire storyline.
Of the family gets land in Montana, and the wife's no longer. She's not even in the first episode.
Welcome to our marriage, everybody.
This really is our marriage, guys. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so the story is about like his kids and how they basically are trying to like protect their land from everyone.
Well, there's also economic crisis that's happening because the property tax on the land is getting extremely high.
Yeah.
They're in the cattle herding business basically, and so then obviously cattle herding and then the cattle like business itself.
Obviously, like we all have cattle herding information.
Well, I mean, if you watch Yellowstone, you would know it's a very difficult situation.
Did you ever Google cattle herding for ranching when we watched Yellowstone? Oh my God, you did.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I learned through the show.
Okay. Anyways,
and so there's a tension because John Dutton, the main character, is trying to keep Yellowstone intact without selling away any of its part, and also he's got a pretty massive vision and kind of I would call it like a moral compass. I think John Dutton's moral compass is keep Montana like Montana. Keep Yellowstone.
Like no tourists.
Don't industrialize it. Don't, and they kind of like in a derogatory way, I think they talk about Bozeman, where it's like, where they are like Bozeman kind of became like industrialized, became a tourist trap, like all this other stuff. And they're like, don't do that to Montana. Leave Montana the way that it was the way it was for our ancestors. And he wants it to say the same for his children, for his grandchildren, right?
Because he kind of thinks that all of his kids are going to like take over all of this. And then you also have the Native American tribe that's there. I forget what their tribe was called. Mm-hmm. You have their tribe there that's like, this was our land. You don't understand. This was never your family's. This was always our family's.
Yeah, and so their kind of big thing is like, how do we get this land back? Because it's rightfully ours. Yep. But they're never going to get it back because it's the Duttons. But the problem is the Duttons
legally
can't. Right, but the Duttons can't. They're in this crisis because they can't pay these property taxes, and so then he's got a pretty like bad daughter, Beth.
Okay, this is my favorite part, you guys.
And Beth like basically comes in as like this boss. Savage. Like she's like, here's how we're gonna save. And she always calls her dad Daddy. Like here's how we're gonna save the farm or save Yellowstone. Yep. And she's kind of trying to figure out how to work within the legal system, she's a shrewd businesswoman, how to work within the business thing, build relationships and alliances in order to do the best that she can to honor the vision that her father has for trying to keep Yellowstone together in one piece.
Well, and I think part of this also too is that he's kind of like, I don't know, I think his character, you love him and you hate him.
No, I just loved him.
I kind of hate him a little bit because as a parent,
I understand him.
He is a
I understand him.
Bogus parent.
No, I don't think he's a bogus parent. I think that
he's got bogus parent.
I don't think so.
He was never like lovey-dovey with his kids or very like affectionate. He's
a product of his environment. He's a product of the way that he was like raised and brought up.
Kevin Costner like fan club.
I'm not fan club. I'm actually very upset that he like was so selfish.
Sorry, John Dutton fan club. Can you pause?
I'm a fan of John Dutton.
Okay, thank you. Anyways, he basically raises his kids to do whatever they need to do to keep this ranch and to keep this property. So he sends off his daughter to go become, I guess, like a lawyer kind of thing. Not really a lawyer.
Not a lawyer. She's a businesswoman.
So a businesswoman. So like trains her up to be like a businesswoman, sends her to all these things. She becomes like literally the best. Like we don't even know how much money she has throughout the show because, I mean, like at the end you find out how much money she really has. But
yeah,
it's just,
she bought
I'm not giving all the details on purpose. They need to watch it themselves.
Well, then how the heck are we going to do this episode? Because I want to talk about some very specific things.
Okay, well, we'll see. Okay, spoilers coming. Just no spoilers.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
Like, can we hurry up?
Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're good Lord.
You're yelling.
They turned my mic down because apparently I get very like animated when I talk. Anyways, so all of the like children, one has like no interest at all. He actually marries a Native American woman who, so like now he's kind of starting to feel more for the Native Americans that kind of lost their land. And he's like in this whole different world.
He's a bridge, I think, between the two.
He's a bridge. It's actually really cool because like you really do get to learn more about like the Native American side. What? Casey? Yeah. So that's Casey. And then there's one son that you find out was adopted basically, and we hate him. We're not even talking about him right now.
Jamie,
we don't like Jamie. And then one son is no longer with us, but the daughter, Beth, is my idol. She's the best character. She's a little like, no, she's very...
You remind me of Beth a little bit, by the way.
You better be meaning that as a compliment.
Yeah, absolutely.
She is literally awesome. So rough around the edges.
I remind me of Rip a little bit.
Hey, babe. You can't call yourself...
Imagine Rip in Jordans, a much darker tan.
Joel, you could not...
I am Rip.
I would love to see you lasso a cow, ride a horse. I can figure it out. No,
I have ridden a horse.
Ride a horse without whining about chafing.
I was riding for a long time and it was raining.
Be able to do all your own stuff, live without your phone. Now, Beth, on the other hand, she is like so badass. She drinks a little too much.
A little too much?
She drinks a little too much.
She's an alcoholic, dude.
She's like, can literally defend her family against everything. And she's just like the like embodiment of like a boss bee.
Yeah, I think she's cool.
She is. I could be that. And basically all those things already.
Yeah, for the most part.
Admit it, I am.
I literally just said.
Minus the alcoholic part. I'm not that. Joel.
What?
I like a glass of wine here and then. Now and then.
That's great. I love it too. For you.
You're such a jerk.
Okay.
Anyways, it is amazing. We love this show. Highly, highly recommend it.
I think the thing about the show that for me that I really appreciated is obviously character development.
Yep.
For sure, storyline, narrative structure. Like there's such complexity between all the different players where you have like this. And the reason why I resonate to John Dutton, I feel like, is because he's got such a strong moral compass that his vision to keep Yellowstone the way that it is, the way that it's always been,
but he also starts
is
to
at
cross
least a
some
guiding.
lines.
Of course, but at least you know why he crosses those lines.
Yeah, that's true.
Like there's no confusion over why he now moral of course, but at least clarity around why. And even the way that he raised his kids, like you know, he's trying to position his children to be bought into a higher vision, to a higher goal than just themselves individually. Yeah. And I think like then you have like these built-in storylines of like the girl with a complicated relationship with her mom that loves her dad, right? That loves her brothers, but then was like totally betrayed by one of her brothers, like in her childhood, like scary, you know? And so obviously it's like Beth versus Jamie. Yeah. Beth loves Casey. She's obviously
even though
a daddy's girl.
You try to break away from the whole family.
You've got Rip, who's this whole adopted story.
Rip is the best too. I do love Rip.
You know,
poor guy never had like love.
Dutton, he's like always adopting in the hands, like the cow hand, you know, the cowboys.
He is.
When you become part of the family, you're part of the family.
That's the part that I hate the most. He's not like you're gonna go get a hug from your dad, like you did a good job. I'm so proud of you. None of that stuff.
Different people are wired different ways. That he showed.
As a
for
parent,
John
you have to do
Dutton,
some of that.
well, I mean, you and I know that, but I'm just saying for John Dutton,
maybe I guess in his own way he loved well.
Yeah, loyalty for him is that loyalty like piece. Like he was
and ultimately he was doing all of this for his kids. Like he really did think his kids wanted it, even though Casey made it very clear he wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people didn't want it. But I don't know. One thing I think that it does kind of show you is that when a parent has such strong aspirations for their kid to like live on this family legacy and the kids don't want to, there's no room. There is no room for his kids to not do it, which is why Casey left.
Yeah. I think what was hard with the storyline is that he was okay with Beth doing whatever Beth wanted to do.
No, that's not true. He was okay with Beth because Beth was going to come back and serve him in keeping it all and help him do whatever he needed to keep it.
Yeah.
It was always to his aid. It was always they could do whatever they wanted if it supported the ranch, if it supported his dream.
Yeah. And you know the irony is at the very end, Kevin Costner, he betrayed Yellowstone.
He is not John Dutton.
No, but that's the irony. That's the great, you know what? We just figured
Lord.
out the greatest twist of the entire thing. That
What
is
if
such
Kevin
a
Costner
disgrace.
hears this? You know what?
I think that he would
Would you
appreciate
like a moment to talk to
irony.
Kevin Costner? Okay, you talk to Kevin Costner or John Dutton. Have your moment. This is it.
I don't
Ready,
want.
go.
Okay.
You're like, no, actually, I got nothing.
Well,
That's
it's
what he
like
did.
because like the off chance that he does see this, like you were great in Waterworld.
You're so stupid.
Even better is John Dutton.
Oh Lord.
But I do think there's a serious irony to the fact that like at the
That
very
is funny. I
end,
actually
John
never
Dutton's
thought about
character is
that.
all about Yellowstone, and then you individually, personally, were like, forget Yellowstone. I'm gonna
You
create
just side-eyed Kevin
bootleg.
Costner.
I'm gonna create bootleg Yellowstone
You
instead.
just side-eyed.
Which I haven't watched your movie yet, so I'm going to watch the movie, and then maybe we'll do a different episode on.
I'm not.
Guess I'll do the episode by myself.
Anyways, Yellowstone was it. I think it's one of our new favorites for sure. And there's all these like side ones of them too. And those are just fun because I think we liked that world so much that we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What was another one of our shows that we loved? Oh, Sons of Anarchy was mine.
Oh yeah,
Sons of Anarchy is probably my all-time favorite show.
Yeah.
It was a little like, I don't know, I can do action, but that action was a little more violent
Oh yeah.
than I typically enjoy.
Oh man, it took me forever after the Opie scene. Whew.
I don't
almost
think I've
couldn't watch it
ever
again.
cried that hard.
Yeah, I
I
almost
stopped
couldn't
for a
watch it
while
again.
after that part.
I know. I
And they
like.
killed off our favorite character.
I know that was crazy.
Bad,
dude.
But so that was one of ours that we really, really liked was Sons of Anarchy, Vampire Diaries. I did rope Joel into Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, it was like C+.
Yeah, but we stuck through the whole thing and we did like it.
I mean, I stuck through it for you.
It was pretty bad at the end. The last 2 seasons. Oh my God.
As soon as what's her name?
You
left.
know who? Oh,
The main
yeah,
character.
the main character. Whenever like a main character leaves a show, you should just dip out with them.
Dip with
That's
them.
that's my new motto.
Dip
Main
out.
character goes, let's dip out. Isn't that what the kids say?
You done that into like part 2 of Yellowstone when Kevin Costner left us.
That wasn't part 2. That was like
Yes, it was
season
part 2
7
of
out
season.
6.
No, first off, I think it was season 5. It was part 2 of season 5
I don't think so.
because they had to take a break halfway through season
True.
5.
True. What was the other one? Oh, you know one of my favorites. That
Are we gonna finish talking about like Yellowstone though? Like the
we talked about Yellowstone
themes?
for a very long time.
But I thought there was
Oh,
like the
sweetheart.
specific things about like the very end. We're not gonna talk about like because we had like a very conflated like we both had different
Conflicted?
opinions, conflicting views.
Conflicted.
We had very conflicting views on how it ended.
What do you mean? Do you want to go? You want to circle back? We're done talking about other things. You want to just talk about Yellowstone the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. You know what, guys? Yellowstone episode.
Okay, but from here
hold
on out, there's a spoiler.
Pause this episode. Go watch all 5 to 7. I don't know how many seasons there are.
No, don't
Go
do
watch-
that. Don't do that. Then they're gonna
then
never
come
come back.
Okay. Watch all of this. Then go binge Yellowstone. Come back to us. Comment on this
and let us know.
episode. Let us know if you're joining the
Maybe we
John
should do a
Dutton
Yellowstone watch
fan
party.
club. No.
Yeah, we could do.
I'm
like,
not rewatching. Absolutely not. No way, Jose. Nope.
maybe just the last episode. So we can talk
No.
about this section. Okay, official spoiler alert. From here on out, we're going to
This
talk about some
whole
very
episode's
specific
been a
things.
spoiler.
Official
As soon as
spoiler
that
alert
spoiler
right now.
alert.
Okay, so I think that the way that it ended was brilliant in
Ugh.
one sense. In that Casey, one, I love the irony of it is that Beth, who's like the business boss woman, she should have been the one to figure this
Well,
out.
stop.
But Casey is the
Pause.
one who's
Pause.
like, you know.
Pause. Thank you very much. Okay. To understand the last episode, remember, you can only listen to this if you want to know what happens at the end of Yellowstone. Okay, I warned
that's
you.
why I did spoiler alert like 25 times.
They didn't listen to that. They were busy on their phones.
How could they not listen to that?
They were hanging out. They were like skipping classes. Don't skip classes, guys. Just do the classes and then listen to this. Okay.
What classes?
Our fans love us, and our people here love us. And so someone commented the other day that they skipped, like they were like in the bathroom during school listening to one of our things, and I was like, don't do that next time.
Also, kind of weird.
Listening in the bathroom.
I mean, not really. I think I listen to some podcasts.
You do. I hear them.
I watch YouTube videos sometimes.
Anyway,
okay, let's go back to
just so you know. Spoiler alert! Don't come crying to us. Be like, oh my God, Britt and Joel, you spoiled it. We're literally warning you 100 times. Okay,
Yeah, 100 times. 100 times. Okay, so remember the whole.
No, I'm not done. Good Lord, listen for a second.
I listen so well.
No, you don't. The very end. Basically, like they did this whole show with John Dutton. He's literally like the most central piece of all of this. And every single episode, always talked about, always a big part. At the very end, the only way that they could continue and end the show without him was to kill him off.
Yeah, that's what happens in episode 1.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like to explain what you're about to explain, they have to know. They kill him off. So then the whole thing is like, we know who did it in the very beginning.
And they're doing these like flashbacks,
clear.
flash forwards, like it's all this stuff.
So then it's like the family just dealing with it and trying to come to terms. And of course,
and now
what
do we do? Yeah, now what do we do with this land?
If they didn't know that, they would not have known what you were talking about.
Okay, I'm glad you helped them out with that. So then basically at the very end, the irony of this whole thing is that, so the big issue is they've got this cattle. They need to try to sell the cattle. Then they're like auctioning off all this stuff on the farm. They're trying to just get money to pay the taxes for the land. Like it's like the property taxes just insane, right? And so at the very end, it's like, well, what are they going to do? And then Casey figures it out. Casey makes a decision with Beth. They kind of like have this approval thing, whatever. And obviously Jamie is like an evil character throughout this whole thing. Jamie like he was behind the assassination on his father. Like he basically approved it and got it going.
Cried and acted like,
I mean, honestly, Jamie was like sociopath. Like it's bad.
I think he really was. Cause like nobody makes those choices as a sane human being.
Yeah, it was bad. Anyways, so there's that whole side thing with him. But at the end, Casey figures out, you only have to, the person, if he sold the land, he would have to sell the land, and the person who bought it would have to pay the property taxes based off of the sales price, right?
Yeah.
So then it's like, nobody can afford that. Like it's going to be crazy, right?
Like millions.
And they don't want to sell to a massive investment firm or a capital company, a capital investment company or whatever.
Which is what
that has the money.
Was trying to have happen. He wanted to just make a crap ton of money. So he was trying to give it to some like touristy type.
Exactly. But then it would become a hotel and it would become a tourist trap, right? So it's like, well, how do you maintain John's vision? How do you keep Yellowstone, but then get off of this heavy burden of this time? Brilliant. He decides to sell Yellowstone back to the Native Americans.
Yep.
And this is, I thought, was a brilliant touch.
For like 30 cents an acre or something crazy.
He went back and found how much an acre cost at the time when the Duttons took the land, basically, and sold it back to them at that price. And so, honestly, this is like restitution in one sense, right? Like, okay, like we're going to, and the Native American guy is like the chief, who's the head of that, tribe. He's like all in, and like they make this really beautiful like pact. They even set aside a part of the land for Casey and his family to be able to still do their kind of work or whatever.
To still live there.
Okay, but this is where I think you and I saw things differently, right? So the Native American tribe gets the land back. And I mean, John Dutton has built, the Dutton family has built this massive, just beautiful,
it's really pretty,
historically beautiful house, ranch, stables, like all this stuff, right?
Yep.
And at the very last scene, the Native Americans come and their graveyard, the Dutton family is all buried there, right?
Whole family,
their whole family,
all their generations from the very first one. Beginning.
Yeah. Yes. So the last scene is the Native Americans coming in, and they just start ripping everything down,
dismantling, and taking everything apart.
Like literally, they're taking apart. The thing is, they're returning the land to what it was before, right?
Yes.
But I saw that and I'm like, I'm devastated.
Joel, literally, we were laying down watching. He sits up, goes to like the edge of the bed. He's like barely like trying to sit, trying to stand, trying to sit. He's like, what are they doing?
Like, why?
Why are they doing this? Like, they built that. Why? Why not just keep the house? You were mad.
Because I think it's a social tension of the fact that, yes, the land was stolen. There's no doubt about it. And you had 200 and some years, 100 and some years of land and family and memories of other people, and those two things now are like intermingled together. You know, and so now you're like erasing this one thing to get to this other. And like, even though the one thing I'm very grateful for is at the very end there were like these teenage Native American kids that went to the gravesite and they started to desecrate the gravesite, like knock down the tombs. They were like
kicking over all the gravestones.
And one of the main figures of the Native American tribes, who actually is very good friends with Casey, ran in and like yelled at them. You know, it was like, how dare you? Not only are these people, but these people have protected this land. Like, this is like, they will always have. And I thought that was a respectful like way to handle that part of it. But I don't know, it didn't set well for me to say, like, why can't both things live in tension together? Like, yes, this happened, and yes, we can leave that. You know, I have I you know, for my like main job or whatever, I do a lot of research and whatnot. And one of the
trash guys, so sorry. Analytical.
Okay, so at the very end, it's like, why can't these two things? Why can't they live in tension? Oh, I was saying for my like main job, like I do a lot of research and writing, and I've got a friend who's an archaeologist, and he was telling me that the nature of archaeology in general is a destructive science, because when you go to any civilization, civilizations are building on top of each other.
Yeah.
And so in order to go to like ancient Rome and to get underneath to a civilization, you have to destroy the layer on top of it. And so the head archaeologist at some point has to make a decision. At what point are we willing to destroy the memory of this pre-existing civilization in order to get under, to see what happened underneath it, you know? And in some ways, it's like you've got these civilizations, these people groups, these families, you know? And it was almost like what we were watching was, for me, it was the destruction of one family.
Yeah.
To return it to the state that it was.
Yeah.
But in so doing, it, for me, felt like a dishonoring.
Yeah.
And I wish that there was a way to live for those two things to live in tension. And you disagree.
No, I disagree. Because I think that, when you sell a home, let's look at our last home, for instance. Okay? So
that's a whole difference. No. A bad analogy.
Can I talk?
You can. I'm just telling you it's a bad analogy. We lived there for 4 years versus 200 years. I sat here
quietly snoring while you went and told me your side. Can I talk,
I like
please?
your shoes. Who got those for you?
Some cute husband of mine. Anyways, we had our last home, and when we did it, like, we built it up, we did all these things, I mean, very poorly. And so if you guys are listening, we're so sorry. We didn't know how to like really fix up a house. But we did all these things, whatever. New people bought it, and like they tore down a bunch of stuff. They built it up like in a whole different way, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
Beautiful because they did it the way that they wanted to. Okay. And I think that for us to buy a home and not be able to tear things down and make it our own, it's not ours. So I think for them, it was, sure. Like, they're going to honor the land by not letting it become a development like John never wanted.
Yeah.
So that's honor. That's respect.
Yeah. And
by saying that Casey and his family can still live there, and by like keeping like the graves like where they are and not disturbing them, all of that is honor. Yeah. And like it's heartbreaking to see one season or one generation on that land end.
That's not a generation, babe. That's generation upon generation.
Okay,
we're talking about.
But listen,
I think it's like 100 years.
I did not talk.
115, 120 years.
Thank you so much.
You're actually coming off a lot.
Anyways, I think that because like on one of the things they had, like there were big stables, and there's a big Y. And then when like the Y was like as big as our house, and they took off the Y, and then inside they were taking off like what's that thing? The mantle. They were taking off the mantle and all these different pieces. And I mean, like it is heartbreaking because you're grieving and you're losing something, right? We're losing the Dutton family on that land. But that's a part of grief, and that's a part of that time and that generation, those generations ending, so that this new like family can kind of come and start putting all of their roots down. That was theirs to begin with. And so I think it was making it back to theirs. And honestly, they're probably going to dismantle that whole freaking house and take that whole like house down to the ground.
Well, that's what they were doing.
Like the entire thing. You'll never see it again. Right? but they were so happy and they were making it back to their own what they wanted. So really, I mean, if you think about it for them, like, I don't know, I guess I saw it more like the Native American group side, because they had this land that they were never able to build on and to make their own ever. That was like unrightfully taken from them. And so all of a sudden, like, now they get to make it their own and they get to do whatever they want. And the stables in the house would have been a reminder of something that was like a very unhappy part of their history.
No, and that's a valid, extremely valid point. And that's what I'm saying. I wish there was a way for there to be a tension for those two things to live together.
But
in the comments,
tension is
let us
Casey.
know, who do you agree with? Do you
Brittany.
agree with me, or do you agree with Britt?
Thank you. I think it was Casey, though. I think letting Casey stay there was that. That's what I think it was as far as like the tension goes. But no, first of all, I did not expect to talk about Yellowstone the entire episode. We were going to talk about other shows we like. We're going to talk about all these other fun things. We were going to maybe talk about Mufasa.
Oh man, I want to talk about that.
Nope. Now you lost it. What do we call that in this family? Self-whooping.
No, that's a whole different episode.
Anyways, so now our new show that we're going to binge, we have to find one.
Animal Planet.
Oh yeah, duh, we're watching Animal Kingdom.
No.
Not Animal Planet. We're watching Animal Kingdom. I forgot. And that one, if you like Sons of Anarchy, you will love Animal Kingdom. It's amazing. It's best. So tell us in the comments your favorite shows that you are binging right now. And also, what
Who's
do you
right,
think of Yellowstone?
Joel or Britt?
Me.
Me.
We'll see. You guys, I kind of liked this. This was fun digging into like our favorite show of ours. We might have to do this again with different shows that Joel does not hijack and talk about all the analytics and or maybe even some movies that we've watched. We watched a lot of movies over winter break. What did we watch over winter break? We watched Mufasa. I watched Wicked.
I want to talk about Mufasa.
And Sonic.
Let's talk about Mufasa. Sonic was medium.
I like Sonic.
Mufasa Mufasa was phenomenal.
Yeah, we saw Sonic in 4D though. And I'm still sore.
My back hurts.
That was a sore one. Thank you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let us know in the comments what you think of Yellowstone if you've watched it. If not, go watch it immediately. Like, I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, hurry up and go watch it right now. Anyways, all right. We'll chat with you guys later. Bye. Try that again. Oh my God. You are not ending an episode like that. Are you 12? Are you 12? And you felt cringy the second you did it.
I felt so good. I felt so confident.
No, let's start again. No. What? Do anything else.
Huh?
Anything else. Okay, let's do this again.
You ready?
Ready, set. Bye, guys. We're going to just put an emoji over him and just clip him out entirely. We're going to use AI and do a new husband in your seat.
Finally. Sorry.
And our trash is overflowing out there. They need to hurry up and come get it.
By the way, you got to learn how to
By
stack
the way,
trash
don't
bags.
tell me how to do things.
No, you need to learn how
By
to...
the way...
You need to learn
By
how
the
to
way... By the way...
stack... This morning I had to add 3 more bags of trash.
In so doing...
You just sounded so smart.
In so doing, whatever the hell I want to do, I will listen to myself.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah, continue about your very long, boring, analytical